So this week, I'm going to be talking about back pain, but from my own personal experience. So obviously I work with people with back pain every single day, but I've actually got a bit of a back history myself. And recently the back pain has actually came back a little bit. And I'd actually say it's come back worse than it's ever been before. So over the last 3 to 4 days, I started noticing my back stiffen up a little bit. Very similar to how it did when it first ever became a problem. And I'm still struggling quite a lot with it at the moment. So this is the exact strategy I've used over the last 3 to 5 days to actually settle my pain, learn a little bit around it, make sure that I can work and train around it, and more importantly, teach you the key skills you need to learn from this own process myself that you can implement for yourself. So the first step for me was actually not rushing in to do any particular exercises or trying to use a lot of the drills that I use straight away. The biggest thing I know I needed to do was actually figure out what positions I could tolerate, which I couldn't. The first 2 days I actually couldn't figure out if I liked bending down or extending, which is quite unique. Traditionally I don't like extension just because of the injury I had 2.5 years ago. So for me, I was quite surprised that flexion and bending down and putting my shoes and socks on was actually as bad as it's been, and it's never been that bad before. So I used the first couple of days just to get a gauge of what I could tolerate. So when I was trying to learn what positions I could tolerate, the 4 movements we use in the clinic, and also I wanted to understand, was bending down, extension, rotation, and side to side. And today is the first time I've really felt comfortable trying to go through all these motions. So with that, me touching my toes, the main thing I'm just trying to understand and making sure I'm focused on is actually driving through my hips or through my back. And even there, I can feel it really quickly. So what I'm gonna do is just go through the drills the same way I always do and just relax through it. Nice breath into the nose. Nice big breath out. And that actually feels really nice today. Extension still feels really kind of tight and pinchy. And the best way I would describe my back pain, which a lot of people, and like yourselves might experience, is just the stiffness around here. I'm very fortunate to not have any referred pain down the leg. I'm not getting any numbness or pins and needles. I do feel as if the stiffness here is stopping how I walk and feel free. And that goes on to the first thing I've really kept on top of, is keep my step count high and go for my walks to keep me active. Because I haven't been comfortable to go to the gym and go and actually train the way I train, I've just kept it really simple, and I've just kept my step count as my main form of exercise. So then I want to just check my extension. Doesn't feel great. I obviously don't look comfortable going through it. I don't get any pinch or sharp pain, but it's a really key thing to learn here, that again, you're going to have these hesitancies and you're going to be a little bit cautious with it. That for me is more important than actually me feeling nothing here. I know I'm a little bit guarded here, so I know sensitivity is at the forefront of my problems at the moment, not necessarily structural. Once I figure out if sensitivity is driving a lot of my stiffness and my lack of progression, then I know I can use my exercises to actually drive in the most positive direction of actually getting my movement back, settling my pain, and then earning my confidence back up again. So that gives me a lot of confidence knowing that sensitivity is probably driving this stiffness now. Now again, looking at rotation, I feel absolutely fine going this way. I feel a little bit of a pinch on my right side. And again, right side is where my history's been. That's where I'm kind of feeling it the most now. And then side to side, doesn't feel great, which again, shortening and closing that space is exactly the same as what I'm feeling here and here. And then as I load my right, I don't have any issues with this at all. This actually feels quite nice. So again, me loading my right side, me loading my right side doesn't cause me an issue, but me asking those tissues to let go. And from a sensitivity perspective, I can then trust, this is a sensitivity problem. So let's attack that for my first phase of rehab. So if you've ever watched any of our videos, you know I absolutely love this exercise for that initial lower back pain form of rehab. So straight off the bat, all I'm gonna do is just figure out what feels comfortable. Sometimes a pillow doesn't feel great if I'm having to arch and bend into it, so I'm gonna just get rid of the pillow for this. Again, pinching can get that bit of tightness and that pain, which I don't often get, but today it doesn't feel great, and that has no problem at all. I don't mind rounding it. So I'm gonna take my time with the extension. Again, if you're having pain extending your back, just find the limit. Please don't force it. It's no benefit to you. Just find, I'm probably just about there, just above neutral. My aim is at the end of the exercise, I can load it and feel a lot better. So I'm gonna go a nice controlled breath in. Not the best, I can feel myself exhaling outwards. So what I'm gonna do is just find my sternum, find my diaphragm. That's better. Find the diaphragm, let's aim for 3 to 5 seconds slowly in. And then a long exhale out. One more. Now I've settled myself into it, relaxed into it, just recheck that position. I can now extend and actually don't have much pinch anymore. Just off the back of 3 breaths, just calming my nerve system down. It's always really cool for me to feel that, because it's always good for me to see it. Other guys respond well in the clinic, but it's always nice for me to feel that myself. And then slowly add in the breath in. That's better. So I quite like the rounded reach for me. I just think that's a bit comfortable than reaching down. I also don't have the best neck, so I don't want to stiffen my neck up either. So I want to just make sure I feel really relaxed with that motion. I want to just do one more rep, slow breath in. Okay, great. I feel much better in extension there, which is really cool to see. That's always really rewarding. So that drill was really helpful for me there to actually feel that extension, not feeling super great with the first rep. And then as I breathed into it and relaxed into it, the rep got so much more comfortable for me to go into extension. So I'm gonna just try it again in standing. I can still feel it. I can still feel it a little bit tight there, which is completely normal. But I'm gonna just check my extension. And even I have a little bit of that subconscious trust that I can lean into it a bit more. Still feel a bit pinchy, but nowhere near as bad as it was a second ago. And then flexion, much better. Again, just check rotation. Still feel a bit pinchy there, so I'm going to target rotation in the next exercise. And I still feel a little bit there with side flexion as well, which is probably why I'm still feeling it a little bit, because this drill is obviously very forward and backwards. Let's try a few drills that incorporate rotation and side to side as well. So now I'm going to target rotation and side to side a little bit. I feel confident to do it. If for you don't feel super comfortable trying some of these exercises, the exercise I would stick to would be the pelvic tilt, and I would just target that for day 1 until you feel a lot more confident and a lot more comfortable with the drill. Now, if you've done this one before and you feel comfortable with it, and you feel as if side to side in standing gave you a bit of confidence that, okay, you can lean into it a bit more, then this is what I would opt for. So what I'm going to do, this is going to target very much my right hip flexor, but also I'm going to target the right side of my obliques and my lower back as well. All I'm going to focus on is really nicely just leading slightly into it, so I get a really nice stretch here. Again, extension's a position I'm a bit uncomfortable with, but me leaning and stretching this is going to be really, really good, because I've not been able to do it for the last 3 to 5 days. All I'm going to do is put my hand on my rib cage, arm overhead, nice and relaxed, nice big breath in through the nose, controlled. Feel the diaphragm working. Exhale. And then if I can, and I feel comfortable too, nice big breath in, I'm gonna go for another rep. That feels so good. That feels really nice. It feels really nice here, it feels really nice here. I'm gonna slowly come back in. And I'm gonna go straight into a rotational drill. Rotation traditionally has always felt really nice for me. If I'm squatting or deadlifting, I'll always involve an element of rotation, especially if I feel a bit stiff here. So I'm gonna just keep the same position. What I'm gonna do is just get comfortable. We're just rocking forward and backward really slowly, just again, finding my limit. And again, traditionally, rotation to my left doesn't feel great. This feels pretty good. When this can lengthen, my nervous system feels a lot more control and relaxed, and I can lean into it a bit more. Nice big exhale. When you've been in pain, it feels really good to get some movements back in that you've not been able to do for the last couple of days. So again, still feel it a little bit, but just gonna go through my motions again. That feels really nice, and I feel as if I can really get there now. Again, this is the position I feel the most comfortable with, so I'm happy to try it. That feels really good. I'm even happy to just give myself a bit of a reach overhead, just get the rib cage elevated as well. That feels much better. Don't really feel too much there. Feels a bit funny there. just feel it slightly. So I think what I'm thinking is I want this hip to be happy to take load now. I can move a lot better, but traditionally your muscles aren't going to be super happy to kick in when there's been a bit of a threat. So exercise 3 is going to be a lot more targeted around muscle activation in a second. And that doesn't feel as bad as it did a second ago. Feels much better. Still a bit pinchy, but again, you might be able to see kind of the speed, and you can see how I feel a lot more comfortable the more reps I do. This is really good. This is the most I've moved in 3 days, so I'm really liking this. I think what this video is really helpful with for people is, like, the pain I've had hasn't been any different to what most people might experience, but hopefully you can see in my confidence that I do know this will settle. I know it because I see it every day, but secondly, I've been here a little bit before. Despite this being the worst I have felt in 2.5 years, this definitely goes to show as well that sometimes it does take a little bit longer. Those flare-ups will be slightly different. The last one I had before this was maybe 6 months ago. Felt it slightly going into a deadlift, just stopped the motion. Was in a bit of pain for the rest of the afternoon into evening, and then I had no issues the next day. This time, again, not really sure where the pain came from. Was deadlifting the day before, but at the end of the day, this is the worst I've felt in 2.5 years. This feels pretty good. Don't be afraid to try simple exercises like this to build confidence. If I'm doing it, there's no reason you can't. Keep my feet together. I'm going to just hold. Nicely. It's pretty hard. And so even off the back of just one set of mini banded clams on each side and the glute bridges there, which again is the most I have done in 3 days, just walking from the camera and back around, I don't get that pinch that I was having with the pelvic tilts and the stretches here. So again, activation of muscles around are really key. If people say don't use many bands, ignore them. Simple, does the job. I'm gonna retest my movements. That feels night and day. Oh, that feels so much better. I don't get any pinch at all. So much better. Again, slight awareness of it, but so much better. And you might hear in a consultation or in a session, you're going to have a little bit reminded because that sensitivity doesn't just drop, it stays. Nervous system's doing its job. It's completely normal to experience some lingering pain, even after the first 45 or 60 minutes of doing something. But I've only been doing work for maybe 10, 15 minutes while going through this demonstration, and I'm already feeling a lot more confident in the day. So again, keep it simple. Learn about what you can do over the first 24, 40 hours. I've been having paracetamol and ibuprofen every 4 hours just to settle the pain, just to help with the travel and what I was doing over the weekend. And then when I got into the clinic today and felt a lot better to be able to exercise and just try a couple of things that I have not been able to do over the last 3 days. Went for a walk this morning, and after an hour drive, got straight onto this, and I'm feeling a lot better. Even for me, who work with people with back pain every single day, when my back goes, I'll have the exact same little bit of a panic, the exact same reaction that's completely human. But for you now knowing the insides of how to get a good idea of what this back pain is going to be, learn for the first couple of 24, 40 hours, the first couple of days are your way of gauging what can you do and what can't you tolerate. Don't push it, respect the boundaries, listen to your body. And once you start getting those symptoms settling a little bit, start bringing in really simple, basic exercises that are absolutely minimal and actually have a lot of powerful effect of one, giving you confidence, but then also giving your nervous system an idea that we're good, we're safe, we're gonna get better, we're gonna move in a better direction this week. So it's the day after yesterday's initial assessment where I was going through the motions, going through the initial rehab exercise I was using, and today I'm feeling significantly better. This morning I still felt a little bit of symptoms just on my right side, which is very different to what I was experiencing over the last 3 to 5 days. In terms of how yesterday went, after I did the exercises, after I obviously had a few meetings, sat down, had a full day of clinic, the main symptoms I was experiencing were tightness very much in my lower back muscles, which was very different to what I was experiencing over the last 3 to 5 days. For me, that's usually a really positive sign because once you see pain and stiffness, just start moving a little bit. You start knowing that your nervous system's starting to understand what's safe and what isn't. And I think that was a really positive sign for me to know, okay, cool, it's moved away from the stiff, painful site right in my pelvis, which was really limiting comfort in sitting, comfort in walking, comfort in demonstrating exercises. And then so for those symptoms to move was quite a positive sign in my mind. When it then came into today, woke up, had a really good sleep. Symptoms feel really good today. I don't actually feel any pain or tightness in my lower back. I don't feel anything across my lower back, which is the first time in any 3 to 5 days I've experienced that. And from a movement perspective, again, going through the 4 main movement checks, I feel really comfortable going into flexion, really comfortable going into extension, and I don't really have any concerns rotating, which yesterday displayed some slight pain, and exactly the same again today. I don't have any issues there, and side to side, I don't have any issues there. So just finished the clinical day for today and actually wanted to just update on how my back's been, and it's been night and day from where it was last Thursday to how it was today. Today, like I said, on the initial morning movement assessment, I felt as if it was actually moving in the best direction, didn't have any stiffness or any pain at all. And even through a whole kind of 8-hour day, I've had no symptoms at all today. Hope you actually enjoyed the video. Hope you enjoyed this type of series. If hopefully I never have another back issue again to do another video of these demonstrations, but hopefully you can see a nice insight in terms of my kind of process with it. One, to kind of respect the fact it's completely normal, and I'm hoping that over the next couple of days now I can get back into training, get back into my normal routine, and then hopefully see very limited issues from there.